right, court is calling 2025 CR 009749, State versus Cullen Spencer O'Neill. Can I have parties annexed?
Samantha Lynn Brown for the state.
Brian Kimbrough for Mr. O'Neill.
All right, and are you Mr. O'Neill?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, according to your plea bargain agreement, punishment is to be assessed at a cap of 8 years in the prison. The state is opposed to your applications. Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
Yes, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objections to the PSI report?
No, Judge.
No, Judge.
All right, state, you're opposed. Do you have any witnesses?
No witnesses, Judge.
Defense, any witnesses?
Yes, we have some witnesses, Your Honor.
All right, call your first witness.
Before I do, Your Honor, I have some letters that I wanted to present the court on his behalf, and I believe, and I did give a copy to the state, and I believe they were opposed to my doing so. So I wanted to give them an opportunity to speak to that.
All right, any objections to the court reviewing the letters?
Yes, Judge. I'm going to oppose their hearsay. I can't cross-examine the witnesses on those statements, and I don't believe they're sworn statements either, so I'm going to object to them.
Well, Your Honor, I've produced, these have nothing to do with the incident. They're only about the character and the information about the defendant. I think it's part of the court's duty.
So with regards to whether they're hearsay or not, the court needs to review it to see if it is hearsay. And then if the court determines it is hearsay, then the court can always disregard. All right, with regards to the state's objections to the court reviewing the letters that have been tendered by the defense, the court understands your objections. The court is going to overrule those objections. The court will take these into consideration in sentencing.
Would you like to have a copy so they can review them?
Oh, I've reviewed it. Yes, I read very fast.
Very fast. Thank you.
All right, call your first witness. All right, can you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, I do.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Tammy Hollis O'Neill.
All right, counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you, and what is your relationship with Cullen?
Yes, I'm his mother.
And could you tell me a little bit, was Cullen raised in San Antonio?
He was raised in San Antonio, born in Japan, but came here shortly after that because his late father was in the military.
And how long was his father in the military?
24 years.
What branch was he in?
Air Force.
Are you also in the military?
No, sir, I'm not. I work as a civil servant, but not now because I'm furloughed.
Because government is
Yes, that is correct.
shut down.
That is correct.
For the Air Force?
I do work for the Department of Defense. That's correct. Air Force. Yes, at the Air Force Civil Engineer Center.
So Cullen's father passed away 7 years ago, right?
Yes, sir.
And
2018.
how did that, from your perspective, and was Cullen living with you at the time?
Yes, sir, he was.
And how did this affect him? The death of his father?
Hugely. It affected all of the kids, right? My daughter as well. But I think it struck Cullen much harder, right? Because of that father figure that he had in his life. And also that father figure to hold him accountable.
And how many siblings and other members of the family did he grow up with?
Yes, he has a younger sister who's not here to testify today, ma'am. One of the letters was from her. She's full-time in college and couldn't come. And then he has a stepsister as well.
And could you describe his upbringing, his childhood? Was it normal? Was it good?
Yes, sir. It was good. I would say it was good. He got everything he wanted. You know what I mean? One of those. And I did the best to raise him. With my husband, and then as a single mom after my husband passed away.
Did Cullen go to school?
He did. He graduated. He's got a diploma.
He's got a diploma. He didn't get a GED, right?
Yes, he did.
Yes,
he did.
He did.
He struggled a lot in school with ADHD, and also so he has struggled with that throughout his life since he's been little, right? Hard to concentrate, anxiety, right?
And has he been employed, generally speaking, since he got out of high school?
Yes, sir. He has.
Okay. Has he always sought employment?
Yes.
And to your knowledge, has Cullen ever been convicted of anything, any crimes in his life?
No, sir. No, sir. This is so outside of his character. And I have never witnessed this type of behavior in him,
Okay.
which is why this is so shocking. I've had so many conversations with him, and I think he regrets what happened, right? I feel like from his personality, this is just not something he typically would have done. And I feel like that it was a mistake. He just made a poor decision, a very poor decision.
And he's always lived at home, correct?
Yes, sir.
And so you've gotten to know his friends.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And would you say, based on your knowledge and your observation, are his friendships appropriate age-wise?
Yes, sir. I've never seen anyone under legal age at my house. That's another thing I think that my daughter wrote in her letter, that even when I'm not there, she didn't witness that either as well. His relationships have always been with people of age, which is why this incident was so outside of his normal character.
And has he had friendships that were long-standing? In other words, friends that he's had for many years?
Oh, yes. He has friends that he went to kindergarten with, right? And one is here today, actually. So.
Now, you know that we're here to ask the judge to place Cullen on community supervision
Yes,
for
sir.
adjudication.
Yes.
You think that he could succeed on community supervision?
Yes, sir. I do. I very much do. I think that he needs that discipline, right? Of being able to check in continually. He's been on an ankle monitor for the last year and a half and has done that very successfully, right? To be able to check in and be accountable to that. I think that he can give back to society by working and doing other things while he was on probation versus if he was incarcerated.
Okay. And that's fine. Pass the witness.
All right, any questions?
No questions, Judge.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you.
And I would call Deborah Higgins.
All right, can you raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand if you'll state your name for the record.
Deborah Higgins.
All right, counsel, you may proceed.
Thank you. And Ms. Higgins, you go by DJ, is that correct?
Correct.
Okay. What's your relationship with Cullen? How long have you known him?
I'm a family friend of approximately 14 years.
Do you remember how you first met the family?
I worked with Cullen's mom.
Okay. Was that in the Department of Defense
Yes.
area?
Yes.
Are you still working there?
No, sir. I retired July 25th this year.
And in the course of working with his mother, did you get to know Cullen a little bit?
Yes. I would go to their house for holidays and dinners and cookouts and whatnot.
What did you observe about Cullen during your period of knowing him?
He's a good kid. He was raised well. I watched how him and his sister were raised. They were raised well. They did well.
Did you have occasion to see him with other young people?
I met one or two of his friends when we were all at the house. They're good kids.
Okay. And did you ever hear about anything that he might have done other than this incident that raised concerns for you?
No.
And you also work in pet safety or something?
Animal rescue.
Animal rescue.
Yes.
So you observed what happened today, and you
Yes.
were familiar with it.
Yes.
So you do not condone bad behavior.
Absolutely not.
Okay,
Right is right and wrong is wrong.
you're hardcore on that.
Very.
Okay, and you know that what Cullen did was wrong.
Yes.
In spite of that, do you think that he could succeed on community supervision if the judge would give him that?
With structure, accountability, and discipline, and having to stay focused on that thing, yes, I do. I think he would do very well with that.
And do you think that would be a better outcome than sending him to prison?
I do.
Why is that?
There's prison structure and there's, I don't know the right legal term, but probation structure. And I think him being employed, being forced to do the right thing every single day in a more open environment would be more beneficial to him to grow as a young man.
Absolutely.
Any questions?
No.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Call your next witness.
Yes, I would call Melissa Daly.
All right, if you could raise your right hand for me, please. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
I'm Melissa Daly.
All right, just keep your voice up so the court reporter can hear. Defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Daly, you're acquainted with Cullen O'Neill, correct?
Mhm.
How did you know Cullen O'Neill?
I've known Colin since we met my son practically in kindergarten. And all the groups of boys always played in the neighborhood. So I watched basically Colin grow up since kindergarten.
Okay.
And he's always showed the utmost respect and yes, ma'am. And when I had groceries, he'd be the first to come help me take them out of the car. I had him spend the night several times. And I treated him like a son of mine. So
Okay.
this is totally out of character.
Mhm.
But
What is your son's name?
Daniel.
Daniel, and he is a friend and grew up with Cullen, correct?
Yes, sir.
Is Daniel here?
Yeah.
Daniel, okay. Now, would you, if you had had any issues with Cullen as far as his influence, would you have allowed Daniel to spend time with Cullen?
I hadn't had any issues with Colin.
Right, but if you had.
Oh, of course I would. But I have not seen, Colin's has always presented great character and integrity. And I thought when he was raised with his father hunting and having all the things that every boy would dream to have with a dad do.
Mhm.
And since his dad passed, it was very heartbreaking. But he had a group of friends that supported him. So he wasn't like a loner child. He had lots of friends. And that helped him get through that horrible situation during his prime time in childhood.
And do you think that that he would be a good candidate for probation, community supervision?
Yes, I do.
You think he could succeed on that?
I absolutely do think he succeeds. Has high integrity, and this is just outside his character in this incident.
Thanks. Absolutely.
Any questions?
No, Judge.
All right, thank you so much. Call your next witness.
I'm going to call Cullen, Your Honor. Cullen O'Neill.
Can you raise your right hand?
Sir.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help
Yes,
you
ma'am.
God? All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Cullen O'Neill.
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you. Cullen, you know why we're here?
Yes, I do. I made an egregious mistake one night. I had no sympathy for the situation I was in due to being under the influence of drugs and alcohol. And I made an honest young man mistake with my emotions and what I was trying to do. I made a horrible mistake. It's been haunting me. And I mean, I've had to deal with it for a year and a half that I've realized it and sat with it. And people have made fun of me. I've gone through it, but it's something that I know that it's not over because I made a mistake and I'm willing to take that on the chin. You know what I mean? You talk about football and LSU. I'm leaving it all on the field. You know what I mean? With what I'm trying to do to prove that I need a plea, but I made a mistake.
Okay. Now, the evening this happened, you had been using drugs, correct?
Yes, sir.
And you'd been drinking.
Yes, sir.
So you have an issue with drinking and with drugs.
Yes.
And you're willing to deal with that.
100%
Okay.
to get better.
To get better. Do you have an attraction to younger women?
No, ma'am. I mean, no, sir. I've never once ever in my life. I think it was just the influence I was in, the situation of not sleeping, being tired from work, just and my emotions, my feelings as a young man just overcame me. And I know that's horrible and I made a mistake for that.
Okay. Now, you did complete your GED, correct?
Yes, sir, I did.
Okay. And do you have plans and things that you want to achieve in your life?
Yes. So I was a month away from finishing college when this all happened. And I had been held back for a year and a half to even finish college. But what I was doing in college was being a gunsmith. I get with my situation now, I might need to find a different line of work. And what I've been doing as an iron worker and doing stuff outside and building buildings like Chick-fil-A's, Walmart's, and Chase Banks and stuff around the community the best I can.
Now, you were employed with an iron What kind of a company was it?
It was an iron company. It was Hill Country Steel. We do all the main steel around all of San Antonio, Austin, and Dallas. We do every Walmart, every Chick-fil-A, every Chase Bank, every car wash. We provide the steel.
Well, did you start working with them when you were in high school?
Yes, right out of high school. One of the letters I gave was from the employer that I've known since right out of high school, and he helped me a lot. And he knew about my situation through house arrest and getting my job back.
Now, you're not currently working for him, right?
No, I stopped working for him because I wanted to deal with this and didn't want to interrupt their company for my mistakes.
And are you hoping to be able to get work again?
Yes, I actually have a job interview on Thursday for another steel company that was smaller that we used to provide steel with. So that's something I'm really looking forward to start doing and working.
Tell the judge why you think you could succeed on probation.
I did track, football, and baseball all throughout high school. And I work harder than most grown men that I know. And I know I messed up. And I don't want to do prison because that's just not something I know I will succeed in, unfortunately. But I know that doing the plea and being on a schedule, checking in and doing things like that will really help me a lot. Get my life back on track. I'm young. I made a horrible mistake for my age. And I know that I want to be able to recover from it and not be stuck.
Now, when this happened, understanding the situation, you do admit that you were told that the girl was 15.
Yes,
correct?
Yes,
and you also admit that when you were going to see her, it was because you were intending to have with her, right?
Yes, I admit to that. You know what I mean? I admit to the court to take my honesty because I made a mistake.
Yeah. But that's not something you have ever done.
Never thought about it. Never once been around it. And I have a little sister. How could I do that to her?
Okay.
You know, like that's something that I really think about a lot and being a better image for her, especially with the situation I'm in. I want to get out of this and be better for her. And she was one of the main people that wrote a letter.
Okay. Pass the witness.
State.
A couple questions.
Yes, ma'am.
You talked to probation prior to this hearing, correct? The pre-sentencing report.
Yes, ma'am.
And when they asked you about the offense, you minimized it, correct?
I was nervous to what I said. I was very nervous on what needed to be said. And I wasn't sure what to say. I've never been in a situation like this, and I've never had the thoughts that I have.
But when you spoke to probation, you did minimize what you did in this offense, correct?
I wouldn't say minimize. I told my side the best that I felt that I could. But I did make mistakes. I did say things I wasn't supposed to. And we're here in this situation because of my mistakes.
Right. And the officer didn't force you or coerce you into this situation.
I mean, it was a sting operation.
Correct. But you willingly agreed to meet this person. They didn't force you to meet them.
Yes.
Correct?
After like maybe 30, 45 minutes of time had passed since they had started talking to me. Yes.
And you described in great detail and graphic language exactly what sex acts you wanted to perform on this 15-year-old. Is that correct?
Yes.
Pass the witness, Judge.
Any other questions?
No, Your
All right, any other witnesses?
No, Your Honor.
All right, court will hear brief argument. State.
Judge, I'll let defense go first.
Your Honor, Cullen O'Neill, in my opinion, is a perfect candidate for probation. He checks off the boxes, so to speak. He's 22 years old.
Okay, and not to interrupt your argument, counsel, but this,
Well,
no. This is what I wanted to address, but nobody addressed it. I don't know if anybody wants to address it. And it has to do with the thing that's mentioned in the PSI. And I don't know if you want to address part of that with your,
yeah, I mean, I could ask him.
okay.
If I could recall.
And I'm sorry about that. Yes, you can recall it.
Sure. You had cocaine that night, correct?
Yes, it was for myself. Yes.
And you were using,
Yes, I was.
and you were, as you earlier testified, you were using alcohol too.
Yes.
And you had and did this problem develop like years before?
It mainly developed a year or so before, just working hard and just trying to stay up and just trying to deal with college and deal with a full-time job. I didn't know how to overcome myself or talk to, and that's just what led me down the rabbit hole right there. And I just messed up.
And you understand that when you got to the point what happened that night, you were showing, you had an alcohol and drug problem. Right?
Yes, I definitely did.
And you have it now, correct?
I wouldn't say now. I have definitely resorted to staying off, being a lot better person just due to my probation with my ankle monitor. You know what I mean? Just in case, for whatever reason, they wanted to drug test me or whatever, God forbid, that they would do. I mean, and I have a little sister and my mom, and I don't want to keep that image. I really don't. You know, that's why I really would like, I don't mind doing drug tests, drug classes, or probation or whatever.
All right, and I just asked that because I forgot to bring it up so that could be cleared up because it was in the PSI. So sorry for the interruption.
Okay.
No, you're fine.
Are there any other questions?
No more questions.
All right, I'm sorry. You may
Okay.
proceed with your argument.
Okay,
Counsel.
thank you. That charge was
Dismissed.
dismissed.
Yes.
Again, as I was saying, I think my main point is that Cullen is a very good candidate for probation. He has no criminal history. He is 22 years old. He has a very, very supportive family. He has friends that he's had since he was in kindergarten that are still his friends. I brought family members and I brought friends that have known him that are not related to him. All of them, including the letters that the court read from his employer and from other people that are friends that are not family. His sister did write a letter. All of them attesting to Cullen's character and their long history of knowing him. That isn't to say that what he did was not illegal and wrong. He should be punished for it. But he should, in my opinion, be punished in such a way that he is rehabilitated. This is a case where, to me, it cries out for rehabilitation, not for prison. Prison would be the opposite, in my opinion, of what should happen. Now, I know this is a crime that is extremely terrible, and there is a lot of outcry against this behavior. And I agree, it's fine. I'm not opposed to that. But in the appropriate circumstance, and I think this is one, a person that does this kind of crime can be rehabilitated and can go forward and contribute. And of all the people that I've represented for some time in the last couple of years, Cullen seems to me to be the best candidate for probation. And I'm hoping that the court will give him that opportunity. Whatever program, whatever monitoring the court feels appropriate, I'm asking the court to give him that chance.
All right, State.
Judge, I respectfully disagree with defense's view that this defendant is a great candidate for community supervision. This defendant has a pattern and throughout this case of hiding and minimizing his behavior. When he speaks with the undercover, instead of putting what he wants to do in a text message, he insists on talking. And he says those things over a voice message, so it's less traceable. He gets there, what happens, he gets arrested. He gets to this court, he pleads on this case to supposedly take responsibility. And when given that opportunity to take responsibility to the PSI officer, instead of just saying, I chose to go there that night, he says, well, she pushed me. The officer pushed me to do it. The undercover pushed me. He blames the undercover, doesn't take full accountability. And even today, he says, oh, well, the reason for that is I was scared. If his reaction to being scared, concerned, anxious, or nervous is to lie, to minimize, that is a terrible candidate for probation because he's going to keep doing it on probation. Judge, the descriptions in this report that the court has in the stipulations of what he specifically says, he's not just saying he wants to meet up and have sex with a 15-year-old. He uses graphic sexual language, graphic violent language to talk about not only physically, but abusing a 15-year-old child, who he fully believes at that time is a 15-year-old child. I understand that this defendant is young. There may be some substance abuse issues. However, Judge, this is not the kind of person who I believe would be safe on our streets. I don't think he's a good candidate for probation, and I would worry about an actual child being harmed if he's let out. So I would respectfully ask the court to deny the applications for community supervision and sentence him under the plea agreement for 8 years.
All right. So, Mr. O'Neill, I want you to know that I heard everything from all of the witnesses. I reviewed the PSI. I internalized everything. I've read the chat messages that were sent to someone you thought was 15.
I messed up.
Yeah.
I messed up, Judge.
All right. Oh, it's okay if he says something.
I mean, upset about this. You know what I mean? Like, it's just my life, you know? And I mean, I just want to fix it the best way I can.
All right. And I want you to know I'm taking in consideration your age. And I do understand that sometimes people will do things, they're intoxicated, be it through drugs or alcohol. However, in reading the stipulations and in reading the PSI reports, there were so many times that you could have just pulled back.
I did not understand. You know what I mean? I really did. If I had a better understanding, I would have been honest, like I have been today.
No. I'm not even. Here's the thing. This is what I understand. When probation officers are interviewing you for a PSI report, there are a lot of things going through your head, right? You don't want to say anything that could hurt you. Sometimes defense attorney, I was a defense attorney, and let me just tell you what I would tell my clients. I would tell them, for the love of all that's holy, just say, my attorney told me not to speak about it, right? And then sometimes I would have clients, I'm like, go ahead, tell them. So I will tell you what is in the PSI. I'm not holding that against you, because sometimes when people are faced with legal decisions, sometimes they get nervous. Sometimes you have a lot of voices in your head. What would my attorney say? I understand all of that. So I'm not holding that against you, that maybe you said something that could be considered you're not taking responsibility. So I want you to know that.
Yes, ma'am.
What I'm talking about is the offense. And it's like, there's so many points along the way that you could have stopped. Like, not drive over there.
Yes.
Not go to the hotel.
I agree.
Not go up to the hotel room.
I completely agree. And that's something that I've talked to myself and my mom and my family about, and my friends about, why I even did it. Because in no right state of mind ever have I ever thought that way or been in a situation like that. I crashed out. And I didn't know what sympathy was for the simple like the situation I was in. I really didn't. And I was young, I was sleep deprived, I was off drugs and alcohol, and I really did not mean to make that decision. And that's not who I am as a person. I've never lied to my mom or people about my situation. I've always been honest when they asked, especially how I got my job back. I had to sit there in front of a bunch of grown people and explain what happened.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And that's something I can't be unhonest about it, because look how it looks on a piece of paper. You know, no matter what I said, no matter what I did, it's what's shown. And I mean, that's what's here today in front of us. Like, and I made a mistake, but I don't believe that I deserve prison, because I want to be rehabilitated. I know I can work through what the plea says. I know my punishment isn't over. It'll be at least 10 years that I'll have to deal with whatever the plea requires. And I know that.
All right. So this is what the court is going to do. The court is going to find you guilty. The court is going to order Chapter 62 compliance. There's a $3,000 fine, time and money to run concurrently. The court will sentence you to 3 years in the prison, give you credit for any time served. Did you review the trial court certification of defendants' rights to appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over that, what that is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
So 3 years?
Yes. But like,
Well, I have.
I'm sorry. You gonna talk to him? Well,
Yes, Your Honor, but I have another thing I'd like to raise.
yes.
This is not a 3G off.
No,
And so I will.
I didn't-
Did the court retain jurisdiction?
I'll consider it. I'll tell you what, you can file whatever you want to file, and then the state, you can, make whatever arguments you
May I-
want to make, counsel.
May I hug my mom?
No, you'll have to talk to the deputies. They're in charge of security.
In this powerful courtroom moment, Judge Boyd faces a 22-year-old defendant, Cullen O'Neill. Caught in a shocking undercover predator sting, O'Neill, a first-time offender, pleads guilty after being arrested for arranging a meeting with someone he believed was a 15-year-old girl. The courtroom listens as his defense presents emotional testimony. His mother, lifelong friends, and family friends describe him as a respectful, hard-working young man whose life spiraled after his father's death and battles with addiction. But the state pushes back hard, arguing that O'Neill isn't taking full accountability. Prosecutors point out how he minimized his actions and used explicit, violent language during the sting. They warn the court that he poses a danger if released on probation. Through tears, O'Neill admits his wrongdoing, saying he was under the influence and desperate to turn his life around. He pleads for rehabilitation instead of prison, but Judge Boyd delivers a sobering message, acknowledging O'Neill's age and remorse, yet emphasizing that some decisions cannot be undone. In the end, the judge sentences him to 3 years in state prison, with a lifetime of consequences under Chapter 62 registration. It's a case that exposes the tension between redemption and accountability, and the thin line between a mistake and a crime that changes everything.